curtain, shooting deep from the three, like the GOAT decision, ain't no baiting, it's me. I can make it city light like Thomas Edison. I'm a doctor, sports is my medicine.
What's up, everybody? So I'm back. Dr. Sports is back. Sports is my medicine podcast. Here for the NFL preview. I've been talking about this for quite some time now, and we're here. It's time. I know a lot of people will come in late. They'll probably check this out later, or you may see, what I say. They won't watch the whole video. So I got an announcement to make. The first announcement is I want to let everybody know that this season, for the NFL season, the Dr. Sports will be going live after every Detroit Lions game. This is all for my Lions fans. Most of my people are Lions fans, so I'll be going live after every Detroit Lions game, hosting a post-game show where we can talk about what happened in the game, why they won, why they lost. I know a lot of people on the East Coast, they'll have they'll turn on 97.1 a ticket, or they'll turn on their favorite local show or whatever to listen to post-game talk. Of course, there will be no interviews, but I'll have a unbiased opinion on what happened in that game. So Lions fans, be prepared for the Dr. Sports to go live after every Lions game starting next Sunday. The NFL season is here, and we're about to have a ball. So another thing I want to talk about real quick before I get to these predictions and this NFL preview is I'll also be doing a weekly pick session. I'll probably post it. I may go live and do it where I'll pick every game that week, and we'll see if you guys can beat the doc. I'll try to keep it going all season. I sometimes get lazy and forget to make my picks because games start on Wednesdays, Monday nights, and I got to make the picks on Wednesday because we have Thursday night games. So I'm gonna try to do it every week. And if you want to make picks with me or against me, you can do so. But the big announcement was I said at the beginning that remember every game, after every Lions game, I will be going live doing a post-game show. So that's something new. That's something I've never done before. So I believe I have a lot of people that live on the East Coast. I'm in Vegas, so I have a lot of people on the East Coast that's Lions fans. And after the games, I'm sure they're jumping on Facebook, typing what happened, wanting to see what went down. We'll see what everybody got to say. I'll be on live talking about it, doing a live show. So without further ado, let's get started. I used to do a preview of every team. I did that last year. And that's pretty time consuming. It's a lot of work, a lot of research, and I'm just a regular dude, man. I got a regular job, regular family, and I really ain't got time to be researching the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. And don't nobody want to hear about them teams, no way. They bad. They're not good teams. So I'm not going to waste my time with researching and doing those teams this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you my division winners. I'm going to give you their record, the teams that will make the playoffs in each conference, and the playoff matchups, and who will win those games. And I'll give you a Super Bowl prediction, and we'll go from there. So we'll start off with the AFC, and in the AFC East, I think everybody will agree with me. The Buffalo Bills are the cream of the crop in that division. The Dolphins, the Jets, the Patriots. Patriots should be better, but I believe the Buffalo Bills, because they got a very easy schedule this year. I think they're like the 10th easiest schedule in football. Maybe not 10th, but it's very high up there. And I think they'll end up being 13-4, and they'll win that division easily. And it's really now or never for the Bills, I believe. They haven't gotten over the hump. Josh Allen finally won the MVP. And I'm sorry, give me 1 second here. Having some technical difficulties. There we go. I think we're good. So yeah, Buffalo Bills now or never. Josh Allen hasn't gotten over the hump. I think he needs to get it done this year. I think their coach is in jeopardy of losing his job if they don't at least get to the Super Bowl. But I got Buffalo in the East going 13-4. In the AFC North, it's going to be a very tough division. Cincinnati is going to be better. Pittsburgh might be better. Aaron Rodgers. But, they're always going to be 500 with Mike Tomlin as the coach. But Baltimore, I believe they'll be 12-5. They'll be the number 2 seed in the AFC. And I think the run game got to get it done. They can't rely on Lamar Jackson's arm. In the AFC South, kind of a shocker, a surprise in my opinion from everybody else. Everybody's picking the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud had a subpar second season last year. They lost Tank Dell. He won't be back this year. Nico Collins got hurt a little bit last year. Joe Mixon's going to be out for a couple weeks. But I'm not picking Houston. I'm picking the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if not now, win for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it's been 5 years now. You got the new contract, got a new head coach. I think Travis Hunter can be a difference maker. Despite what many think, I believe he can play both sides of the ball. And I think Jacksonville is going to win that division. And it's going to be 10-7. It's going to be a tight division. But it's going to be a two-team race. Houston and Jacksonville, to me, are the only 2 teams in that division that has an opportunity to win it. But Trevor Lawrence got to get it done. He's been heralded as the next best thing. He hasn't lived up to that. He has won a playoff game, but he also lost one that he should have won, had a big lead. And we're just waiting on Trevor Lawrence to take that next step. So I got Jacksonville 10-7 winning the AFC South. Then the AFC West, I think the run for the Kansas City Chiefs might be over. I don't believe that they will win the division. I think the Chargers are going to win the division. Jim Harbaugh in year number 2 will have Justin Herbert ready. I love the draft pick on Amari Hampton, the running back. They signed Najee Harris. And I like the Chargers to win a division at 11-6. I think Justin Herbert takes a huge step going forward. And I know he's had some horrible playoff performances, but I think Harbaugh is very good at developing quarterbacks, and he'll get it done with Justin Herbert. So to recap, my top 4 seeds in the AFC, I got Buffalo 13-4. Got the Ravens at 12-5. The 3rd seed is going to be the Chargers at 11-6, and then Jacksonville winning the South at 10-7. And then the other 3 remaining playoff teams in the AFC, the number 5 seed, I got Kansas City. They'll be 11-6 as well, but I think the Chargers will win a tiebreaker, which is why they'll win the division. And then I have Cincinnati at 10-7. That's a surprise pick. Their defense last year let them down. Offensively, I think they're second to none. I love Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and signing Trey Hendrickson back to the team for a 1-year deal. The Stewart kid who had the long holdout, he's going to be a beast. They're going to have a better pass rush. If they can just be a little bit better defensively, they'll make the playoffs. And then my 7th seed, a lot of the favorite pick is Denver, and I like Denver, but for some reason I got a feeling Pittsburgh is going to make the playoffs. And I know Aaron Rodgers, he's older, in his 40s now, and he ain't no Brady. But Mike Tomlin always seems to have his team ready to play. And his quarterback is better this year than his quarterback was last year. They're going to be 500. Like, that's a given. So I think when it's all said and done, 9-8 will get them in over the Broncos, who will also be 9-8. But I think they'll beat them out in a tiebreaker. So Buffalo, Baltimore, Chargers, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Kansas City, and Pittsburgh are my AFC playoff teams, which means Baltimore will play Pittsburgh in the first round, the Chargers will play Cincinnati, and Jacksonville will play the Chiefs. Baltimore will be at home, obviously. Chargers will be at home. Jacksonville will be at home. All the division winners. To round that off, Baltimore over Pittsburgh in the first round of the playoffs. I think that'll be an easy matchup for them. Baltimore will get it done. Not an easy matchup. That's a rivalry, so it'll be tough. But I think Baltimore prevails. And then the Chargers in Cincinnati, in San Diego or in Los Angeles. I like Cincy. That's my sleeper pick this year, y'all. I mean, I'm big on Joe Burrow, and I just believe that offense is so explosive, and defensively they can be so much better. That last year they lost so many close games. They started off slow. They got to start off fast this year. They can't go down and be 1-4 or 1-5 like they were in previous years. But I don't believe they will be. So I got Cincinnati beating the Chargers in the first round. And unfortunately for Harbaugh and Justin Herbert, they still won't get it done. But they'll win that division, and that'll be a huge feat considering Kansas City has won a division for damn near a decade. So, and then I got Kansas City beating the Jaguars in Jacksonville. You know, you can't count out Patrick Mahomes. I think this might be Travis Kelce's swan song. Andy Reid, you know, that team is built for playoffs, built for the playoffs, built to make runs for Super Bowls. And I don't think that's going to change. I just believe the Chargers are a little better, which is why they'll win the division. And then you'll have the final four in the AFC. You got Buffalo, Cincinnati, and then Baltimore and Kansas City. So Baltimore and Kansas City, it'll be in Baltimore. This will be Lamar Jackson's opportunity to beat Mahomes, get to the NFC Championship game, and I think he gets it done, finally. I believe he will prevail. The run game with Derrick Henry, it'll be at home in Baltimore, and Lamar Jackson will probably finally get that monkey off his back and make it to the NFC Championship game by beating Kansas City, which is when I mean the monkey off his back, I mean beating Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. And then Buffalo and Cincinnati, I think it'll be an awesome game. Again, Cincinnati is my sleeper, but I believe Buffalo because it's at home and that crazy weather, the snow, Josh Allen. Might be a high-scoring game, but ultimately I think Buffalo prevails because they're the home team. So the AFC Championship game is going to be, in my opinion, the Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens in Buffalo. And I'm going to do a little recap. Not a recap. I'm going to do a little preview of that matchup before I tell you who I think will win. So I think with the Ravens drafting Malachi Stark, the free safety, and pairing him with Kyle Hamilton, gives the Ravens arguably the best safety duo in football. Now, I know Stark is a rookie, but I believe he can be very good with Kyle Hamilton. I can't put them ahead of Detroit safety combo because Stark is a rookie, but adding him with Jair Alexander, I think makes that secondary the best secondary in the AFC. If Jair Alexander can stay healthy, they got Marlon Humphrey in the nickel. They also got the kid Nate Wiggins on the left side. That's a tough secondary, and going up against the receivers in the AFC, like with Cincinnati and with Pittsburgh and with with Kansas City, and you know they gotta compete with some top-notch wide receivers. So that secondary has really been a focus for Baltimore to make them get over that hump. But I think offensively, nothing has changed. They go as far as Lamar Jackson to take them. And I think he will need to make a throw in the playoffs late that'll get them over the hump. And a lot of people think he did that last year with that throw to the tight end, Mark Andrews, but Andrews dropped the ball. I tend to think that he threw the ball a little late, made it a little tougher, but ball hits your hands, you got to catch it. So that's that. Lamar Jackson's got to get it done. He's got to make a throw at some point. And he'll be on the road in Buffalo. So it gets cold in Baltimore too, but that Buffalo weather is different. Now for the Bills, having home field advantage is huge. It wasn't huge for the Lions last year, but it's huge for Buffalo. Having it having an AFC Championship game in their home stadium is going to be tough for any opponent. Like the Ravens, the Bills will go as far as Josh Allen will take them. He's lowered his turnovers last year. If he continue to play like that, keep his turnovers low, I don't see any way, or I don't see any reason why they can't make a Super Bowl run. They'll be better this year. They have the 10th easiest schedule in football on paper. The 10th easiest schedule on paper, because you all know that can change at any moment just because it comes out to be the 10th easiest schedule. Some of those teams might be a little better than we anticipated. They can run it. They can throw it. They got Nick Bosa. If he can stay healthy, not Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa. If he can stay healthy, their defense be as good as they were last season, maybe even better. And I literally changed this pick overnight because I originally was going to pick one. These two teams I had in the NFC Championship game anyway, but I was going to pick one of them last night, and I kind of slept on it. And even though neither guy has won the big game, Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, I just trust Josh Allen a little more than I do Lamar. And I believe it's because of the home field advantage. Now, with that being said, if Baltimore somehow gets home field advantage in the playoffs, then I'd probably take Baltimore. But I believe the Buffalo Bills finally gets out of the AFC and makes it to the Super Bowl for the first time in forever. And I'll let you know if I think they'll win it. But recap, AFC is Buffalo, Baltimore, Jacksonville, Chargers, Cincy, Kansas City, Pittsburgh. NFC Championship game, Baltimore, Buffalo. AFC. AFC Championship game, Baltimore, Buffalo. And the AFC's champion going to the Super Bowl will be the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo fans, I know you're happy about that. Well, maybe not. I could be wrong. So we're going to talk about the NFC, of course, which is my favorite conference, of course, because I'm a Detroit Lion fan. But I thought long and hard about these picks, too. Like, I've been talking about doing this for 5 months, and I didn't come to these conclusions easily. It was very tough to pick the AFC, and it's even tougher to pick the NFC because of my bias for the Detroit Lions. But I tried to take bias out of it and think about the teams and who I believe are the best. So here's what I came up with. In the NFC East, I got the Philadelphia Eagles at 11-6. That may surprise some. They got a very, very tough schedule this year and a very tough division. I don't think they'll run the ball as well as they did last year. Saquon rushed for 2,000 yards. Cut that by 500 yards. Hurts will need to use his arm to win some games. And I believe he can, but there's some tough games on that schedule, even within their own division. So I got the Eagles still winning the division, but 11-6. In the NFC North, I got Detroit winning the division at 12-5. Despite the tough schedule, and it's a very tough schedule for my Lions, I still think they got the best roster in football from top to bottom. And I don't think the coordinator change is going to be an issue as long as Dan Campbell is still the coach. So NFC North, Detroit 12-5. And yes, I know the Packers got Micah Parsons, but I trust the Lions offense more than I trust the Packers offense or their defense. So again, from top to bottom, best roster in football. NFC South, I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 11-6. Tampa is loaded, man. They got a loaded offense. Bucky Irvin, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin's coming back. They got the Iboka kid from Ohio State. Deepest wide receiver room in the NFC. Tez Johnson on the bench. They got a couple other cats that played last year when Chris Godwin got hurt, so they have some experience now. That wide receiver room is going to be tough. Excuse me. And they got an amazing front seven as well with a strong safety with Antoine Winfield, who was hurt a lot last year. So Tampa 11-6 in the NFC South. And then the NFC West, everybody's counting this team out. Everybody's jumping on the Rams bandwagon. Matthew Stafford having his back issue is concerning to me. I don't think he lasts the whole season. So I'm not picking the Rams. The Seahawks, I'm not big on Geno Smith. Excuse me. Arizona, I wanted to pick Arizona, but I'm afraid Kyler Murray kind of scares me. So we're going with the 49ers. I know there's a couple guys at my job, they'll love that. Gabe, Randy, I know y'all love me picking the 49ers to win the division. But they got a very easy schedule. The easiest schedule in football. And the defense is still a problem. Like, Fred Warner, they got guys. And they just brought back the old defensive coordinator who used to be the coach of the Jets. His name escapes me right now. Robert Saleh. So he's back to implement what he was doing back when they were going to Super Bowls. And then the return of CMC. I know Christian McCaffrey been hurt the last few years, but I think he's going to stay healthy this year. They got Brian Robinson Jr. to back him up. That wide receiver core, it concerns me, but with this easy schedule, I think San Francisco wins the division at 10-6. So the top seeds in the NFC is going to be Detroit at 12-5. The Eagles at 11-6. They'll win a tiebreaker over Tampa. Tampa will be third seed, 11-6, and the 49ers will be 10-6 with the fourth seed. The remaining playoff teams in the NFC, the fifth seed, I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. That Micah Parsons signing is huge. And trade was huge. I don't know what Dallas was thinking, but I can tell you, in my opinion, that Dallas won that trade. 2 first-round picks. They got the defensive tackle from Green Bay, who's an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler. I know Micah Parsons is a beast. 12 sacks in his first 12 or more sacks in his first 4 years. But he ain't performing in the playoffs like a guy should perform in the playoffs. And again, in that division, I trust the Detroit Lions roster more than I trust Green Bay. So I got the Packers at the 5th seed at 11-6. The division is going to be tough. Detroit will win that division by 1 game. And I think Micah Parsons is the reason why it's made it tougher. The 6th seed, I'm going with the Commanders. I think they'll take a step back. They have I read this somewhere and I was surprised. They got one of the oldest rosters in football. You think about Jaden Daniels and you're like, wow, they're young, but no, around him they got a lot of older cats, especially on defense. A few younger ones, but they got Wagner in the middle, the linebacker. He's pretty up there. They got an old roster, so I think they'll take a step back. They'll be good. They'll be 10-7. You'll hear me say this a lot throughout the season. Teams' records may not be better than it was last year, but the team could be better. That's very possible. Then the 7th seed, I know I said I wasn't high on this team because I don't think Stafford will finish the season, but I think the Rams will sneak in with the 7th seed at 9-7. They'll just beat out the Falcons. I like the Falcons, and I want to pick the Falcons, but I'm just not sure about Michael Penix yet. They got a very good roster with Bijan and Drake London. Expect Kyle Pitts to have a huge season this year for the first time since he's been in the league. But I just think the Rams are gonna squeak out that 7th seed. So that will give us a Eagles versus Rams matchup in the first round, Tampa versus Washington, and then the 49ers versus Green Bay. So we're taking the Eagles over the Rams for obvious reasons. Rams going to Philly. They almost beat them last year, but I think Philly handles business. The Commanders will beat Tampa Bay. Even though I like Tampa, I think Washington they've been there, they've done it. NFC Championship game last year, going into Detroit and winning that game the way they did last year. They can go anywhere and win. Jaden Daniels is a problem. So I got the number 6 Commanders beating the number 3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then I got the Packers over the 49ers. So that's going to bring a matchup of the number 1 Detroit Lions versus the Commanders. A rematch of last season in the playoffs where the Commanders went to Detroit and won that game. And then I got the Eagles versus the Packers in Philadelphia. So the winners of those 2 games is the NFC Championship game we wanted to see last year. This year, Commanders will not go to Detroit and win that game. So I got Detroit beating Washington, and then I got Philadelphia beating the Packers. So the NFC Championship game will be the Detroit Lions versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, before I give you my winner, here's the synopsis and what I think is the reason I have these 2 teams here and what I think they'll do. So the Eagles, they got everything they need to repeat as Super Bowl champions. I'm not downplaying who they are, what they've done. The interior of the defensive line is outstanding with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, the Georgia boys. Secondary is tremendous with the young Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. By this time, hopefully they've developed a pass rusher. I think their edge is their weak link because they lost Brandon Graham and Josh Sweat last year. Josh Sweat could have been Super Bowl MVP, but they lost those 2 guys. So on the edge, getting pressure on the edge is going to be tough. They'll get that pressure in the middle because of Jalen Carter, Jalen Carter is amazing. Then you got Jordan Davis next to him, so they're going to get pressure in the middle. But you don't expect, you can game plan for that. It's hard when you got dominant edge rushers. So they're on the road. They're on the right track to repeat as Super Bowl champions. For the Lions, look, and again, I can't stress enough how I tried to take the bias out of it because everybody knows I'm a Detroit Lions fan. People are so down on the Lions this year because of the coordinator change, the interior linemen. We lost linemen. Ragnar retired and Zeitler left. So we got Graham Glasgow playing center. We got a rookie at right guard. We got a second-year player at left guard. So the interior of the offensive line won't be as good early as they were, but the Lions have the best running back duo in the league, Montgomery and Gibbs. They have the best safety duo in the league with Joseph and Branch. Top 5 wide receiver duo in the league with Amon-Ra St. Brown and J-Mo. But like I said, everybody talking about the coordinators and the tough schedule. They're not going to go 15-2. It's just not going to happen. That's hard to do in the NFL. Going 15-2 last year was crazy. But they're going to have a worse record, but they'll be a better team. They're probably going to start the season like 3-3 or 4-3 or 3. They might even be 6 games. It might even be 2-4. Who knows? They got Baltimore, Cincinnati, Kansas City all on the road in a 4-week span. That's wild. They got Washington on the road. They got Philly on the road. So they're gonna lose games. But top to bottom, best roster in football. Like at every level, they have top 5 players or players that's considered the best player at that position. The window is not closed. they have built this to be sustainable for years to come, not just one season. This is a Detroit team that's built to last. By the time the playoffs get here, I think the defensive line issues will be solved. The O-line issues will be solved. Tate Ratledge is looking like a veteran at guard. Mahogany looks very good at guard. And Graham Gaskell, he's got to stay healthy. He'll be fine at center. So that won't be a problem when the playoffs come because they'll grow and they'll get better. And then after 2 straight heartbreaking losses, the NFC Championship game, then the loss last year with Washington, I think the Lions finally break through and make it to the Super Bowl. And the main reason I believe that, for one, is health. They have to be healthy. But in this NFC Championship game, remember I talked about edge rusher? Aiden Hutchinson is going to be the difference. We have a prolific, all-pro edge rusher, and they don't. And I think that's the difference. It's going to be tough, but I think the Detroit Lions will make it to the Super Bowl this year. And that's an unbiased opinion. They could very well lose. I'm not even sitting here saying it like it's a done deal. Last year, I thought it was a done deal. All those injuries happened. I thought it was a done deal last year. You couldn't tell me they wasn't winning the Super Bowl last year. This year, it was hard for me to pick them because I love Philly and I love their roster. I just think Aiden Hutchinson, if we stay healthy, is the difference maker. As long as Dan Campbell is the coach of this team, I don't care who the coordinators are. We hire from within on defense, and then we hire John Morton on offense, who was already here before. So he's aware of what we're trying to do. He was a part of what we built, what they built there. So with all that being said, Buffalo, Detroit, Super Bowl. This is the Super Bowl everybody wants, I believe. You got 2 teams desperate for a Super Bowl win. You got one team who's been there multiple times, 4 years in a row to be exact, and we lost all 4 years with Buffalo. So that franchise is hurting just as bad as the Detroit Lions franchise and fans because they've never been to a Super Bowl. So which fan base would you rather be? Would you rather be the fan base that's been there and went 4 straight years and lost? Or would you rather be the fan base that's never gotten there at all? And I tend to believe that I would rather be the ones that get there and lose because you can't win it if you ain't in it. Never have been to the Super Bowl is a cloud that's hanging over the Detroit Lions' head. From the fans to the media to the national fans all over the country, that's what they always say. They ain't never making it. They ain't going to never make it. Well, they have an opportunity, and they got to get it done. So, like I said, one team has a history of getting there and losing. The other team don't have a history of getting there at all. When they met last year in Detroit, Buffalo kind of dominated that game. But the Lions' defense was also decimated. Like, we had guys playing on the 3rd and 4th string this year in the preseason that was playing in the playoff game last year. That's wild. The game was like 24-14 at halftime. And then the Lions scored late some garbage points to kind of make it respectable, and they lost 49-42. It really wasn't that close. But again, we had injuries. But the reason why I am going to pick the Detroit Lions to win the Super Bowl this year, 31-28 at Levi Stadium in San Francisco, is because, again, from top to bottom, from the very first player, to number 53, I believe the Detroit Lions have the best roster in football. And if Aiden Hutchinson is healthy all season, he, again, is going to be the difference in winning the Super Bowl. I don't take this pick lightly because I know what everybody's going to say. It's a homer pick. That's your team. That's not what I'm doing here. I promise you that. I've looked at this 4, 5, 6, 7 different ways, and just as well as they can easily lose it, they can win it. And I'm not in fear of them not making the playoffs. Look, they could even very well not win the division this year. There's nothing because of the schedule, because of how tough it's going to be. Yes, losing coordinators is an issue if Dan Campbell isn't the mastermind of that offense. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about injuries, and these predictions are all based on teams staying healthy, not just the Lions, but all teams. All the teams staying healthy. Everybody, and that's not going to happen. Everybody's not going to stay healthy. But, I mean, not having the catastrophic injuries like the Lions did. At one point, they had 22 people on the injury list, including Aiden Hutchinson. And both edge rushers, 2 linebackers, 2 corners. I mean, like, that's just ridiculous what happened to them last year as far as injuries. So, I don't expect that to happen. Will injuries happen? Yes. But the catastrophic injury that causes a team to go from first to 0, I don't think it's going to happen. So if everything is equal, I think the Lions have built a roster that is on par with any team in the league. Like I said, look, if you look at all the so-called experts, and again, I like to tell people all the time, I'm just a regular dude. I'm not Stephen A. I ain't none of these guys. But I know just as much as them. The only difference between those guys and me is access. I know the game. I watch the game. I study the game. I've been watching sports my entire life. I'm 47, and I've been doing this shit since I was like 9. So, excuse me, I understand and I know what I'm talking about. And I don't know more than anybody else. I don't know everything. I don't pretend to know everything. I'm passionate about what I do and what I say, but it's not me saying I'm better than you or I know more than you. I can be wrong. I've been wrong. I will be wrong again. But in my opinion, Detroit has the best roster in football. Look at all the so-called experts. Again, best running back duo in the league. If they're not 1, they're 2. Excuse me. Sorry. If they're not 1, they're 2. With Gibbs and Montgomery. Jared Goff was just named a top 15 player in the NFL. And he gets so much slander, it's ridiculous. St. Brown and J-Mo, top 5 duo in the NFL and wide receiver. Kirby Joseph, Branch, top safety duo in the NFL. You can't find another team where on every level you have a player or players that's considered to be top 5 at their position. Aiden Hutchinson, top 5. Aleem McNeil, when he comes back from injury, he's top 5 at defensive tackle. I know Lions fans wish we had a better pass rusher on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. Dude always getting hurt, and I don't know why I can't never remember his name. I always want to call him Michael Brockers, but that's not him. Dude always getting hurt, and we're gonna need somebody on the other side. So hopefully he can stay healthy. I gotta look his name up because I don't like not knowing his name. Give me a second here. Lions Edge Rushers 2024. Marcus Davenport. There we go. If Davenport can stay healthy, Davenport can be, serviceable. Tyleek Williams, the defensive tackle, and DJ Reader at defensive tackle. Tyleek is the rookie. Secondary, Terrion Arnold. Everybody's saying he's going to have an amazing season. their roster is just too good. So I expect them, just like last year. I expected, and I was wrong. I expect the Lions to win the Super Bowl this year, and that's not me coming from a place of as a Detroit Lions fan. That's me coming from a place as an NFL football fan who has studied and watched and looked at these rosters from top to bottom, and I believe they have the best roster. And health is going to be the biggest issue. So, if you just not joined us, probably to nobody's surprise, and I'm sure, like I said, people who don't understand how much effort and work I put into this will probably say you picked the Lions because you're a Lions fan, you're a homer. Yeah, call it what you want. Again, I could be 100% wrong, but I believe this is the year. So Lions fans, strap up. Like T. Owen said, get your popcorn ready. Another thing, regular season, and I know I said I'm going to, I made an announcement at the beginning that after every Lions game this year, I'm going to do a post-game show. I'm going to come on here, I'm going to go live on Facebook, and we're just going to talk about what happened. 15, 20 minutes tops, just to get the, whether we frustrated, whether we happy we won, overreactions and underreactions and, what everybody's got to say. We're gonna talk about it. And, again, I got all my friends are back east, and they're Lions fans. So I know when the games go off, you're going to hop on Facebook and start typing and start posting. And I know you're going to be posting during the games. That's one thing this year I'm not going to do. I'm not posting during games this year because, honestly, for the Lions, for a lot of teams, Lions, Philadelphia, Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City, all these teams that have Super Bowl expectations, nobody cares about what they do in the regular season. I don't care what the Detroit Lions do in the regular season. Make the playoffs. If the Detroit Lions don't win the division, I don't care. Because it was proven last year that even though I'm putting a big emphasis on home field advantage this year, it was proven last year that I'm not even sure that it really matters. The Commanders came in here and spanked our ass. So, is it really that big of a deal? Lions proved they can win on the road. Jared Goff has proven he can win in cold weather. He's went to New York. He's went to Green Bay and won games. He won in the playoffs before he came here. So, it's not about home court. It's not about regular season. They're not going 15-2. I got them 12-5. They might go 11-6. They could possibly go 10-7 with this schedule. Get in the playoffs. That's all that matters. So I'm not getting all excited about who they beat, who they don't beat. They beat Baltimore. If they beat Kansas City or lose to Kansas City, people are going to be talking shit. Lions lost, Lions this, Lions. I don't care. Until week 17 come and the season is over, I feel the same way about Detroit that I feel about Philly. I feel about Baltimore. I feel about Buffalo. I feel about Kansas City. These teams don't matter to me when the regular season hit. What Lamar Jackson do in the regular season don't matter. He can have 4,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing. If he can't win in the playoffs, that don't matter. So you're not going to see me get all crazy and overly excited over a loss or a win. Now, if they lose to a team they shouldn't lose to, that's troublesome because of this tough schedule. They got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. But it's the NFL. Everybody's a professional. There is no easy game on the schedule because these are professionals. They're out there trying too. So if they lose a game they're not supposed to lose, or a game that we think they're not supposed to lose, it is what it is. I'm not going to get all crazy. But if they don't make the playoffs, come week 17, and I get online and do the post-game show, I might go viral. Because I'm going to be fucking pissed. I'm telling you now. But if it's a regular season game and they lose, and I come on here and it's week 6, I'm gonna be as calm as ever. I'm gonna point out the bullshit that they did. I'm gonna point out the bad calls or not from the refs. I ain't playing the referee game. I ain't doing that. But they could have did this or they should have did that, or I'm gonna second guess just like the so-called experts do. But I'm not gonna get crazy. I'll get crazy when they lose and not make the playoffs, if that happens. Or when they get in the playoffs and they lose in the first round like they did last year. I'm going to come on here and go fucking nuts. I'm telling you now. Because there's no reason why this team, one, should not have already been to a Super Bowl. But two, there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to get there this year. So, just remember, coming this Wednesday, I'm going to do my weekly picks. I may go live and make the picks. I may just post them on my page. If you want to pick with me and pick against me and let me know what your picks are, we'll keep a tab of it throughout the season. See if you can beat the doc. I ain't that good at picks, so I might bust my ass, but I'm still gonna have fun with it. And then the bigger announcement is after every Lions game this year, Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Thursday night, Thanksgiving Day, regular Sunday game. As soon as the game over, boom, come on Facebook, you're gonna see this ugly mug. I'm gonna be on here talking about it. When you turning on 97 Won a Ticket, when you turning on Lions post-game shows on Fox or wherever they at. Y'all might want to listen to some interviews, that's one thing, but you don't need to listen to the Jim Costas of the world. Just listen to your boy, listen to the Doctor of Sports. Because I have the ear of the common man. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not doing this for clicks or likes. I'm doing this because I love it. I enjoy it. And I hope you guys I got a few people that follow me, a few people that pay attention to what I'm doing, and to those people I appreciate it. But if I don't have 0 views, if I don't have nobody watching this, I can sit here and talk about this shit all day because this is what I enjoy to do. But be ready for the picks, but be even more ready for the post-game show, the Detroit Lions, every week by the Doctor of Sports and the Sports of My Medicine podcast. We'll be coming to you live so we can talk about it. I can even think I can invite people in and you guys can talk or comment and I'll respond to you. But we're going to talk about the game because I know that's what everybody's going to want to talk about. So that is basically it for my preview show. Hope everybody's having a good Labor Day weekend. Again, to recap, I got Buffalo, I got Detroit, and I got Detroit winning the Super Bowl this year. My man Steven, what's up? What's up, Munger? Congrats on your graduation, man. I seen you with a cap and gown. I appreciate you tuning in, brother. Been a long time. I ain't seen you in a minute. Hope your brother Gary doing all right. Tell him D. Jeff said what up. See my wife on here too. Hey, boo. What's the deal? Not too many people came on. I've been telling you motherfuckers for 6 months I was going to be doing this shit. Y'all ain't even get on here. But it's all good. Y'all will be on eventually. Wait till the Lions start losing a couple games. Y'all want to talk shit. Y'all going to be y'all going to come on here and see me and y'all going to be ready to go off. And I'm going to have to walk y'all off the ledge or talk y'all off the ledge because the season ain't gonna be over. So thanks for tuning in. If you did this live video, this will be on Facebook probably for about 30 days. I'm gonna try to upload it to YouTube. I tried to get on live Instagram, but for some reason when I hit the live button it said I wasn't able to do it. So maybe next week when I do the post-game show, I'll be on different platforms So, oh yeah, no doubt, Mongo. No doubt, my guy. So tune in Wednesday, or check my page Wednesday for the picks, for the weekly picks. And then tune in next Sunday, Lions Packers. Oh yeah, them church league days, boy. That was fun, man. That was fun. Man, that was a long time ago, man. We old, and I can't do none of that stuff no more. We old now. But tune in next Sunday after the Lions, in Green Bay. Michael Parsons' first game. Look, don't be surprised if the Lions lose that game. I mean, on the road, offense ain't played all season. Remember what happened last year in week 1 when they played the Rams and they beat them in overtime? The offense looked sluggish. Everybody's like, what's wrong with the offense? And everybody was trying to debate whether or not Dan Campbell should have played the starters in the preseason. Expect them to look a little sluggish come next Sunday. But expect them to have extra motivation as well, because this Michael Parsons trade got everybody saying they no longer the favorites in the division. And a lot of people don't think the Lions are as good as they were last year. So now they got a chip on their shoulder. And the Detroit Lions team with Dan Campbell as a coach with a chip on their shoulder, it's a dangerous Detroit Lions team. So once again, thanks for tuning in. You got my picks. Detroit Lions, Super Bowl champions this year. I believe it's Super Bowl 60. It's been too long. We got to get it done. It's time. So Lions fans, stand up. NFL fans, stand up. We got 4 days to the first game of the season. I'm excited. I'm happy. I still shouldn't playing some football. Yeah, can't wait till Thursday night. I think I don't even remember who playing Thursday night. Kansas City and somebody. But I don't care who playing. It's football. So, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Till next time, next Sunday, Lions post-game show. First one ever. The Doctor of Sports. Sports is My Medicine podcast. Love you guys. Over and out.
Shooting deep from the 3 like the GOAT decision. Ain't no baiting, there's no. I can make it city light like Thomas Edison. I'm the Doctor of Sports. Sports is my medicine.